Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Yeah No No Yeah. We gather here today to celebrate Liam got married, and for his choice for this topic, then we are discussing 3 wedding-related movies. We each picked one. We discussed The Philadelphia Story, which was Keelan's pick. We discussed Wedding Crashers, which was my pick. And we discussed Rachel getting married, which was Liam's. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good episode. We hope you guys enjoy. Just a reminder that we have the timestamps in the description of the episode if you want to avoid any spoilers for these movies, as well as the links to any of our social medias or what we're on right now, and as well as the Patreon. If you want to help support the podcast, we would greatly appreciate it. Every little bit helps for the artwork that we do for each episode. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoy. So let's get into it. After another
it's been a while.
They're pretty sporadic, but I mean, makes sense. It's been a busy time.
Yeah, I'll get mine out of the way then. I've been married now. I'm a married man.
Holy fuck.
Where's the... See, there needs to be a soundboard for that.
It was a good soundboard.
I will live and die by my boy. That's good enough. It's good enough.
That'll do.
It's about as close as we'll get.
Yeah, that's the best news right now, really. But we're going to go away for a couple of days, I think, right after I record this. So I'm going to start packing my things.
Really?
I think we're going to Oregon.
Oregon looks pretty damn cool, though. Some nice scenery. Is that like your guys' honeymoon, basically?
I mean, I guess, yeah. We didn't really have one right off the bat or anything, I guess.
I mean, this is about as close as you'll get. So that'll be fun.
That's
nice.
About it. I got married. No big deal.
No big deal.
Same old stuff, back in the routine. Seattle was fun, but yeah, that's like already been a month. It's crazy to think that was like a month ago, basically. Just watching a lot of movies, trying to get back in the show mood. So that's really all I've been doing, and just trying to make money again. Yeah, just back at work.
What about
how
you,
was
Mr.
that?
Shelley?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was about to say, how was the Green Day concert? I didn't forget about that. Did they play the good stuff? I hope
they played the entirety of their 2 best albums. I was in heaven.
Good.
It was good. It was delightful. They played all of American Idiot and all of Dookie. I got obscenely drunk by accident. I didn't mean to get so drunk, but like I was texting fucking Liam and Julia on their wedding day, just like, oh, I'm drunk, but like congratulations and all that.
Drunk by accident.
Drinks were bought for me. I don't think I spent a single fucking cent that day.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Like I went with my dad, and like the minute we got in, I was like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. You just get us a drink or whatever. And I came back, and he had like fucking 4 drinks, and I was like, what the fuck? It's just like, I just wanted one. So I had to fucking down the first one quickly, because I wasn't about to be fucking walking around fucking double fisting drinks. So that's where it all went downhill, but the concert was really great. Sport acts were a bit shite though, but sure, look. What can we do? The first band was pretty good. It's more the second band that I have to beef with. They did like a horrific cover of Where Is My Mind? It was horrible. I could not believe what I was hearing. I genuinely could not believe it. I was like, fuck this. Fuck this. So I just went to get a drink or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I fucking hated them. Like I can't remember the name of the first band. They're quite a small punk band. But the second band was a band called Nothing But Thieves. They're pretty big. You might have heard the name maybe, but who the fuck's heard their music? They're shit. They're horrible. I didn't like them. Working an obscene amount. Today's my first day off in literally 7 days. So... Wow. It's been lovely.
I would like to see them again for a second time. I don't know. I feel like I saw them at their peak. That was like 2009, my first concert. My first big concert. Shit. Yeah.
For the 21st Century Breakdown tour, yeah.
Wait, that came out in 2009, 21st Century Breakdown?
Yeah, that was 2009.
Why did I think American Idiot was coming around? That must have been earlier. I don't know. But
American Idiot was 2004.
Oh, yeah, because they opened with 21st Century Breakdown. I remember that.
I'd probably go.
Yeah, no, they played like all their bangers from like all their albums, and that was a great.
I've gotten into from Green Day. Like I used to be really into American Idiot when I was like 14 or something, but that's it. I never went past that.
I like and love everything up to 21st Century Breakdown. After that, they have not made a good album since. They have not made a single good album since. Their recent album is probably their best since 21st Century Breakdown, but it's still
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I'm totally with you there. That was the last good album. I think Insomniac. Is that what it's called?
Insomniac
That might
is
be
so fucking good.
Dude, that's my favorite. That's my
love
favorite
that
album.
so fucking much.
I used to be obsessed with Green Day. I just haven't listened to them in forever though. If I had the money to drop on a concert right now, I would. But maybe the next time, if they're still doing it.
They're still alive. They're all like fucking nearly 60 at this point.
Oh, if fucking Metallica and all them are still touring, like Green Day will still tour.
Metallica's old man music. Green Day's fucking real music.
It's all dad rock now, which is scary to say. That's what they're considering dad rock now.
Millennial dad rock at this
Millennial
point.
dads.
Shout out to our patrons, starting off with Kath at Kath Fernway, Julia, Sarah's Popcorn Chat, and then our door film, Luna __ Pearl, then Kevin at All Right So Reviews. Got the Sacred Six. Thank you guys.
Kevin's my favorite.
Kevin sends in a lot of questions.
Your wife is one of our patrons, you fucking...
She doesn't send enough questions. Movies that don't suck. He sends a lot of questions.
Dude, yeah, he's our like fucking number one question asker. He's
Shout
great.
out to movies that don't suck.
Yeah, shout out. You've earned it.
You've earned
You
it.
sent, dude, he used to have a podcast and I used to listen to it a lot, and I wish he started his back up again. They were pretty good too. I guess we took on the mantle. Now he's living vicariously through us. In the podcast world.
We are now the only Filmstagram podcast with two of the people on the podcast not being Filmstagrammers anymore. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a very desaturated market. It's a very dry market, apparently, movie podcasts. Like, who even has a movie podcast?
I've never heard of a movie podcast. I never listened to one.
I mean, there's Sardonicast.
There's no movie podcast. Be real. Be real. We're the only one.
So what have we been watching?
What? Oh, yeah. What have we been watching?
Nothing. I listened to an album. It's called The Death of Slim Shady by Eminem.
Okay.
Oh, no. That was bad? Well, who would have thought a new Eminem album would be bad?
I like to keep track of him because I do like early Eminem. Like, early Eminem is really great. Like, fucking Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, The Eminem Show, some fucking great albums in there.
Mm-hmm.
He is undeniably one of, like, the most influential rappers of our generation. Probably one of the best rappers in terms of, like, flow and, like, lyricism in his early years. So I like to keep on top of him just because, like, I want to see that come back. And he yet again proves that he's not really fucking able to do it anymore, and it's fucking horrible. Like, the gimmick behind the album is he's bringing Slim Shady back, and he's killing him off, essentially. He kills him off, like, halfway through the album. Spoilers. It's really fucking... It's a good concept, I think. Examine it in, like, a current day situation, like, especially with how fucking nasty, like, past fucking Slim Shady lyrics have been. Like, fuck me. There's some horrible fucking lyrics in Eminem's early discography. But, like, some fucking horrific shit, but it rocks. Unlike this, where it's just like, trans people, and Gen Z, fucking...
Oh my...
it's so fucking... Like, look, on fucking Marshall Mathers LP, you have fucking Kill You, which is all about killing women. That's more fucking cancelable than just being like, oh, Caitlyn Jenner, oh, Gen Z is trying to cancel me. And it's just like, I just like a bit of like bite or some fucking wit to the lyrics, you know?
Yeah.
And he's not offering
anybody even trying to cancel Eminem?
No.
I haven't heard anybody trying to he's like, he wants to be canceled so bad, but he just
He
can't
wants to be relevant. He's not relevant anymore, except in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Eminem Fortnite skin, it must be said. But like...
Dude, speaking of that, I looked up for fun one time, I looked up Eminem on Letterboxd and I was like reading through his biography, and it's still up here. At the very end of it, it says the guy from Fortnite at the very bottom on his Letterboxd biography.
That's amazing. Yeah, so like the production on the album's pretty good, I think, but like for the most part, like a lot of the beats are just kind of like samey, and like the whole kind of concept of the album is basically Slim Shady is trying to get Eminem cancelled, and I just wish he went fucking harder, like said something actually offensive, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I want from Eminem.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the point.
Yeah, he's like half baking that concept, I guess.
No, absolutely. Like there's that one clip that's kind of been going viral with like the start of an interlude where he's like saying, oh, fuck blind people and fuck deaf people too, which I find really funny because it's like he's saying like the most mundane shit like to try to get cancelled or whatever. But that's like the second track, and then the rest of the album is just that, so it just makes that interlude less funny, and I really like that interlude. It's just like, okay, we're being silly with it. I admire that. There were two tracks I liked. I liked Guilty Conscience 2, which is just basically Eminem having a rap battle against Slim Shady, and there's a song called Fuel featuring Jid, which I thought was really, really good. Other than that, nah. It was not good. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10.
Revival is what made me quit his music. After I tried listening to Revival, I'm like, he's officially gone. Like there's no coming back.
Revival is genuinely one of the worst albums ever made. It is so dog shit. It is terrible. I can't believe that came out of Eminem. It's so bad.
It is. I really think that Marshall Mathers LP2 was the last album I really enjoyed. Like, I actually really enjoyed that. And then after that, it's like Green Day. Everything after that, I have not liked. So I just gave up.
I watched Castaway finally. I've never seen that.
Nice.
Nor I.
I don't really know what much there is to say right now because it's probably been talked about a bunch, but like, I didn't kind of expect it to be as extended as it was with like everything outside of the island as well. Everything leading up to that and after that was probably like the best parts of the movie for me, really. Tom Hanks's performance was like one of the best I've seen from him easily. Absolutely amazing in it and just carries the entire thing. Like he has to. You're watching just him for like the entire fucking movie. It feels like so charismatic and like engaging in every single scene. It's just great. A really fucking great movie. And yeah, Robert Zemeckis has some misses here and there, but this is definitely a hit. And
God, he's so spotty.
Yeah, he is.
But Castaway is absolutely worth it. It's so good. The opening crash scene as well, fucking like, that was terrifying. I've never seen people like post about that scene or anything like that. Like, I never knew about it. I was just like really in it in the moment. And I was like, this is genuinely terrifying. Like everything about the way it's filmed is like really, really scary.
Genuinely all I know about the movie is the fucking volleyball.
Exactly. I was about to say 5 stars. Wow. Yeah, it's it's 4.5 for me. It could be a 5 on rewatch. Yeah, no, the volleyball scene, I was about to say, or not, it's not even a scene, it's like a big part of the movie. Yeah. That's like the iconic thing that overshadows like the whole movie is Spalding or whatever his name is. Wilson.
He's not even like as much of a big part of it as I thought he'd be.
It's a fucking volleyball.
It's been like parodied and like memed and it's like like so much to where like that's like
I mean the rum hand known for funny.
Well, I was thinking Madagascar. They fucking do it in Madagascar. I remember. That's what I remember it from.
That's what it was when they were like trying to build stuff in the first one. Yeah. And Alex just goes, "Shut up, Spalding."
Yeah, it's like such a small part. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Giving me dangerous ideas for the next recommendation, boys. I won't lie.
Ooh, the whole Madagascar franchise.
I will not fight you on that one.
I rewatched. I had already seen these 2 movies. For some reason, I felt like rewatching. There's these 2 movies called The Collector and The Collection. They're these horror movies, and not a lot. They're not like super famous, but I mean, I know they have their fan base, and it was like way better the second time. These movies are a lot of fun. If I was to summarize, like, give you the basic idea. It is literally Home Alone meets Saw. Like if you could like take 2 of those aspects and put them together. I don't know. The concept of the first one is that this guy has to like break into this house to rob the safe because he needs to like provide for his family. And then he gets fucking trapped in the house by this like serial killer guy called the Collector. And he has the whole house rigged with these fucking like traps and these like deadly traps, and it's just like it's pretty cool. It's a cool idea. The Collector is like a cool horror villain. Definitely, it's like super stylized, just like the Saw movies. I think some of the people that worked on this actually went on to work on Saw sequels too. So it feels like so early 2000s, even though these came out kind of late 2000s, like almost 2010s. Kind of feels dated in that way, but in like a good way. It's like just it's a whole vibe. And like the first one I gave a 4.5 because I had a lot of fun with it. The second one is almost as good. It's kind of like the Aliens to Alien, the second one actually. That's a lot of people compare it that way because
there's more collectors.
It's following like you got like a SWAT team going in to like try and kill the collectors. So just like you send in the fucking military or whatever in Aliens to go kill the aliens. Yeah, they're both great movies. I mean, they're both fun movies. I don't know if they're great. They're really flawed. Like the acting and performances and writing, it's all really cheesy and kind of like not the best. But if you're just wanting to have fun with it, I think you can do a lot worse. If you like that type of stuff, check it out. And it totally unintentional. A couple weeks after I watched those movies, they just announced that they're going to be working on the third one, which it's been fucking over 10 years since the last one. I did not even plan on like that timing was crazy because I just watched these randomly and now they're finally saying they're going to work on the third one, which I'm excited for. So yeah, so check them out. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, I wanted to see the first one at least.
Yeah, you might like it if you like Saw. So I don't know.
I guess tying into a film we're going to be talking about later, I watched another Jonathan Demme film called Something Wild from 1986, starring fucking Jeff Daniels. Why did I fucking call him Jeffrey? Fucking hell. And Melanie Griffith and Ray Liotta. I think it's Ray Liotta's like first movie ever, which is fucking sick. He's fucking amazing in it. But like overall, it's like it makes. It feels like it'd be a good double feature with After Hours. It has that kind of same vibe where it's just like a dude just being taken on a fucking trip, like over the course of like, I mean, Something Wild takes place over like a week or so, but like it has that same kind of like almost awkward feeling where it's just like, what the fuck is going to happen? Like why is this happening to him? Like fucking God help this man. He basically gets kidnapped by this girl and... not really kidnapped, it's just like he kind of just goes with her and they have an adventure of sorts. And I just found it really fucking entertaining. I loved the sense of humor of it. There's kind of a tonal shift in the third act that I really enjoyed and I thought it was very well handled. Jeff Daniels is fucking amazing in it, and it's kind of crazy because I think he said something about his agent warning him not to do Dumb and Dumber because he feel like it would tarnish his image, and it's just like Something Wild is right there. He's fucking going all out in Something Wild. He's fucking nuts in it. It's great. I love it. Melanie Griffith is great too. She's really fun in it. She kind of plays like this kind of what's the word? Fucking habitual liar. She's just fucking lying all the time just to please other people and please herself. It's a really fun time. I'd really recommend it. Like I think I've loved most Jonathan Demme films I've seen, and yeah, this is no different. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's really, really fun.
I watched Fear. You guys ever seen Fear?
Well, I got it for Julia's birthday.
Quinn bought it for Julia's birthday on Blu-ray, the Mark Wahlberg one, and
yeah.
Good God.
I've never seen it. I only know that she rated it highly, and I was like, well, I don't think she probably has this, so I'll get this, I guess.
It's definitely so bad it's good, but I think in the moment, for like half the movie, I was like, this is just bad. Like, this is awful. Like, how can anyone take this seriously? Mark Wahlberg, I have never seen be that bad. I'm serious.
Oh, man.
And Reese Witherspoon isn't much better either. Like, she's very bad too.
So is it like a kind of psycho thriller type thing? All I know is the creepy face that he makes on the cover, and I'm like, oh, that looks weird.
I can give you like the general plot. It's just that like a girl meets a new guy that's kind of weird and brings him home to meet the family and stuff, and then he starts doing weird shit and just getting weirder and weirder. He's very kooky. It's Mark Wahlberg playing it, so it's really bad.
It does sound like it could be so bad it's good, or like, you know,
oh God,
kind of like guilty pleasure. I don't know.
The amount of like creepy line deliveries from that guy, oh my God, it's so unsettling. And sometimes he's just so over the top as well. Like there's one thing that like sticks in my mind is when like it cuts to a shot of him like through a keyhole and he's making like this fucking anime villain pose, like hello. It's so fucking like shit. He is awful. Like I guess the concept itself like could be a good thing, but like with these actors, absolutely not. William Peterson was in it. He played Reese Witherspoon's dad. He was quite good, but like that's really the only thing I could say about it. Like it's just an awful movie, but I would probably get some enjoyment out of it like on my next watch, but for now it's like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, that looks like one of his earliest movies too. I mean, that was before Boogie Nights, so I kind of want to see it now, yeah, just from that.
It's directed by the director of the 50 Shades sequels.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. This dude.
Quite a resume.
He also did Glenn Ross, which I've heard is really
that's
good.
A banger. That's a great movie. That's another all over the place one. Shit.
Fear is just so weird. Oh my God. I mean, everyone knows the chest punching thing, right? He's trying to make somebody look like he's been beaten up by someone. And he's just like hitting himself.
I've literally never seen a clip or even a still from that movie. All I know is the poster. I'm gonna have to check it out. Speaking of a wild one, I watched the movie that everybody's been talking about. Maybe not so much now. I think that everyone's still talking about it. Longlegs. I saw Longlegs in theaters. It was definitely one of my most highly anticipated movies of the year. I do like some of Oz Perkins' other movies, like The Blackcoat's Daughter is still my favorite movie from him. And this was now, so I've seen all his movies now. I think people have been this is a movie to where the hype definitely gets in the way. People were saying it's like the scariest movie they've seen since Hereditary. And it's like, I'm kind of in that boat of like people that like, man, Hereditary was the last movie to really fuck me up. And so I was like, maybe this will do it to me again.
Skinamarink?
Oh, and Skinamarink. Yes. They are different, but no, those were the last two movies to really get under my skin. And so I thought that this would too, but I didn't find it scary at all, but I did find it like creepy, I guess eerie. Like Nicolas Cage's character definitely makes a lot of the movie in terms of its creepiness, and a lot of people have been saying like you won't look at him the same way again. He's unrecognizable, and like he was for the first half of the movie. I would say the first half is pretty unsettling, and it's like pretty effective, like because he's not really shown. Like a lot of his face is kind of like covered and like you don't really know what he looks like. Those are the best parts for me. And then like the second half, you end up seeing him and it kind of just like gets a little goofy, but still entertaining, but just not scary, just kind of goofier. The movie really kind of, it feels like two different movies at a time at a certain point. And so like, and the ending is really what kind of, what keeps it from being like, honestly, a perfect movie. Like I would have probably rated this 4.5 or 5 if it wasn't for the twist and the reveal and the ending. I just thought it was all kind of cliche and like kind of out of nowhere. And honestly, it's like suspends all disbelief. You have to throw all fucking belief out the window to even believe, like understand this. So I really didn't like that. Like first half of the movie was like perfect. I really like that. It's the best way I could describe this one is like Silence of the Lambs, but with like a religious horror spin on it. And it was directed by David Fincher. That's the feeling this movie is, but it's not just that. I think it manages to be its own thing. So I don't know, just go in with an open mind and not with any of the hype and not expecting it to be like the scariest movie ever. It's entertaining.
I never go into things like that, even though people have been saying that a lot about this movie, I guess.
I've only really heard the Silence of the Lambs comparisons, which interests me a lot because I want more movies kind of like with that vibe.
I mean, if they didn't throw that crazy twist and spin on the end, you know, and like bring in the religious horror aspect of this, then it would honestly be like, I think people would almost say it is like a Silence of the Lambs ripoff in a way, just because it follows a female FBI agent and she's kind of out of her element, and you got this creepy fucker like, you know, Buffalo Bill almost. Even though it's weird because Oz Perkins said when he was making the movie, Silence of the Lambs was not even in his head when making it, which I mean, who knows if he's just saying that or not, but I mean like I would find it hard to believe, honestly. Yeah, I mean, if you like serial killer procedural like investigative movies, then you'll probably like it. The ending will probably be hit or miss for you though, so I don't know. I still really liked it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I would like to rewatch it because it might get better.
I specifically asked our film bookers if we could get it just because I wanted to see it and we weren't getting it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll go see it, no one else will. Fucking hell, it's like one of the most popular films we've had in a while. I was shocked. Like we've had sold out screenings of it since it came out, and I've been wanting to go see it, but I've been working so much, so I haven't been able to have the chance. But maybe soon.
I honestly think like it would have been a perfect like October release, like a fall release. It just would have fit, like it would have hit so differently, honestly. But it's kind of cool, I guess, to have a horror movie be this like successful in the fucking summer blockbuster season. I guess that's kind of cool.
Even if I don't end up liking it, I'm very glad to see that. Always glad to see original horror doing well.
This was definitely refreshing, so yeah, people should check it out for sure.
Because we didn't get questions, do we want to throw like an extra one in there as well, or
if you'd like?
Sure?
If you have
sure.
Another.
I saw another horror movie from this year. I saw In a Violent Nature. Been really looking forward to it because like I heard the stuff about like, oh, it's from the perspective of like a Jason-like killer, and I was like, hell yeah. That sounds cool. I really fucking loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I've been seeing a lot of like divisive reactions, and it's kind of with the reactions to it, it's kind of clued me into like people who aren't like as into horror and the people that are into horror, because this is like a movie for fucking horror buffs. Like this is for people who have seen every fucking Friday the 13th movie, and it plays like so well off that. Like there's sequences in the film where you're just like following the killer. All of these like typical fucking tropey slasher scenes are just like playing out in the distance, and I fucking love that shit so much. Like with these characters just like, oh, what are we gonna do? Like he's fucking killing everyone or whatever. While the killer's just like lurking out there. I find that shit so fucking cool, and they handled it so well. I love the killer. He has a really unique look for like a fucking serial killer. He's wearing like an old fucking fireman's helmet, and some of the kills are fucking insane. There's one kill specifically, I'm guessing Quinn knows which one I'm going to be talking about, but that kill is probably one of the best kills I've ever seen in the fucking movie. It is so fucking sick. I could not believe they went that far, but they did it, and it fucking worked, and it's fucking genius. I love it so much.
Are you talking about, I won't give it away, are you talking about
the cliff?
Oh, on the cliff, that one.
Yeah,
that was a good one too. That was like the best kill probably. I'm thinking of the one that actually disturbed me a bit. One with the wood cutting The woodcutter.
Oh,
thing.
that was so fucking good too. I love that.
That was
one.
good, but it was
love
just
that
the
one.
idea. It was like the way it was shot and the way
Yeah.
it was done really kind of like, it really like kind of unsettled me, which I was not expecting any
Yeah.
kills to like unsettle me. But I was like, this is really fucked up when you think about it. Spot on, yeah. It's like you have to really, people had their expectations for this movie, I think, is what kind of ruined it for the people that aren't diehard fucking horror slasher nerds, I guess, like us.
It really does benefit from having like a strong knowledge of slashers, and like if you don't, like it's just like you might get a few cool kills out of it, but that's about it, and that's fine, I guess, because it is like very slow. Like it is slow, like to a point where it's just like, okay, can you start walking a bit faster, please? Like I didn't feel that often, but there's like one or two scenes where it's just like, okay, get to the next scene, please. I want to see another kill. But at the last 15 minutes though, not sure how you feel.
I didn't like it.
Didn't expect it to go there, and I'm unsatisfied that it did go there, but you know, it's fine. I like what the rest of the movie offered me, and yeah, it's a really great movie. I'd give it a 8 out of 10. Really, really fucking loved it. I thought it was great.
Let's go with the anime. Why not?
Fucking weeb. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not a weeb. It's been forced upon me. It was shown to me by Stella, my stepdaughter.
What the fuck is it called?
It's got a long title and I don't even know how to pronounce half.
Read it all out.
All right. Puella, Magi, Madoka, Magica, the movie part 1 beginnings.
Oh dear. Oh my.
Like for an anime, genuinely, like visually, it was unique. Like it is not in the way that most anime films are animated, I guess. Like it has this really just crazy nature to all that. Like it feels like some of it's just like magazine clippings cut out or something like that, as well as like 2D animation and like a bit of 3D and stuff. It's so weird, but it all like really blends together well, honestly. But it's just the story is a bit hard to get into at times. Like, I guess just because it's like the whole magical schoolgirl genre, it's so oversaturated. Some of the stuff they're talking about, I'm just like, I don't care. But it's just not actually gotten to the point of it being really interesting yet, I guess, because there's 2 other movies still. It was a good start though. I would give it a 6 out of 10.
I've never seen an anime, and I never want to watch an anime.
You were unhappy weebs, were you not?
Fuck.
Was he? Yeah, he was in that one. Another theater watch recently. At our theater, decided to see Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1, which is Kevin Costner's new directed and starred in Western, his 3-hour Western epic, which is apparently
kind of awesome.
No, I didn't really think it looked like awesome from the trailers. This was probably the most surprising watch of the year for me so far, because I couldn't have had less anticipation for this movie. I just did not care. I don't even know why. I just decided to see it because it was like the final day at our theater to see it. I get to see it for free, and I just had nothing else to do. It was actually like pretty well done. Like I was expecting a cheesy like History Channel fucking quality type vibe of like, this is boring, this is slow, this is generic. Westerns are definitely a dying genre, and so I didn't know what to expect. This is definitely one of the better ones I've seen in a while, just in terms of new Westerns, I guess. Doesn't really feel like 3 hours. There is some moments in the middle that do drag. It follows so many different storylines of so many different characters across like the fucking like country or like across these states. And so it can be a lot to keep track of. It honestly feels like it could have been a great like structured as a TV show, because it does follow so many storylines and characters and stuff. So I guess putting it in movie form, you can tell it's just kind of a weird choice, but I mean, it didn't drag too much. You know, this first chapter is probably going to be one of the weakest chapters out of all the ones he's planning on releasing, if I'm being honest, because all it is setting up all the characters. There's so much like introduction and just like laying the groundwork, and it's a lot of characters just talking. There is like action, and the action is awesome, actually. It's like really well done. The movie's rated R, which I didn't know it was rated R, so you definitely get to see some good action. It's a little slow, but I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It looks really good. The cinematography is great, and yeah, it was a good watch. I gave it a 4 out of 5, which is way higher than I thought I would rate it.
I've been watching a TV show called Halt and Catch Fire, and I'm really, really liking it. I'm like 3 seasons in, and I only have like 1 season to go. But it's a really fucking good show, and it's kind of taught me that like what I value the most in TV shows is the characters, like more than any like overarching plot or anything. Like the plot helps obviously, but I need some good fucking characters to be hooked into a show. And in Halt and Catch Fire, the main 4 characters, I fucking adore them. I think they're fucking brilliantly written characters. Lee Pace kind of plays. He plays like the main guy for the first season. Well, he's kind of it's kind of sporadic. Like they kind of shift in like how important they are in their roles in the show, which I do really enjoy. Like everyone gets their time to shine, which I think is really cool. But Lee Pace is great. Scoot McNairy is fucking great. Mackenzie Davis is great. All their characters are fucking
I didn't
amazing.
know Scoot was in it. Love that guy.
Oh yeah. He's really fucking. It's probably the best I've seen him. He's really fucking great in it.
One of the funniest names ever, honestly.
Yeah, what the fuck is that name? Scoot McNairy?
Scoot.
Fucking hell. But yeah, like it's basically about like computers in the 80s is what I'd say. Like it's about like building laptops, and then the second season is about starting a company, and the third season about that company developing. And it's kind of getting into like the internet era. Like there's a huge time jump, and it's all really fucking cool. And I just really like seeing these characters work on their little fucking projects and like deal with like their fucking personal lives and shit. The soundtrack is fucking banging as well. Like there's so much fucking.
It is. That
have you seen it?
Awesome. I've seen the first 2 seasons. I actually remember watching it as it was like first premiering on AMC back with the first season, because like back when I actually had cable. Yeah. It's an AMC show, and I just remember seeing like the commercials for it, like basically promoting the first season. I thought it looked cool as hell, and I mean it is a great show. I need to finish that show. You just reminded me. I need to finish that.
It's a really consistently great show, and I'm really looking forward to the 4th season because I've heard it's like the best of them, like by far, which really excites me. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth a watch. It's extremely bingeable, which I don't like often do, but like at any time I've sat down to watch it, I watched like 4 or 5 episodes at once. And it's very short too. Like it's fucking 40 episodes. Like they're all like 42 minutes a piece. I'd highly recommend it. I think it's a really good show. I give like all 3 the seasons I've seen an 8 out of 10, but like overall it's probably like a 9 out of 10 in terms of enjoyment. I just kind of rated it based on like how I kind of felt in the season, but like in terms of how I think about it overall, it's probably like more like a 9. I'm really enjoying it.
I completely forgot, but I finished a show. It's called Sharp Objects, based on the Gillian Flynn novel. Same writer as Gone Girl, obviously. It's got Amy Adams, Patricia Clarkson, Eliza Scanlon, Chris Messina, who you may remember from Devil.
Star
what a
of
fucking
Devil.
pick.
Yeah.
I had to fucking think for a second. What the fuck is Devil?
I love it when we subvert like shit like that. That's hilarious.
I was just like, I saw him and I was like, where have I seen this fucking guy? And I was like, oh, Devil. Okay.
Or Suicide Squad. Oh, Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. He was Zaz.
Yeah, dude, he's great
Zaz,
in Air.
I forgot.
Whole Chris Messina discussion, but yeah, go on.
It kind of gives you like a bit of a plot for the first 2 episodes or whatever, but as it goes on, it feels like you get to know so much more about Amy Adams' character and stuff through a lot of different like flashbacks or different like editing choices and stuff. I really love the way that they do it in this show, because sometimes they'll have like a flashback, but it's not like in a way where it's like a big scene or anything. It's just like the editor will cut to like a shot of something and then back to the scene again. It's just really quick, but it gives off an emotion of what she's thinking about, obviously, in that moment, and it's all done so well. Patricia Clarkson is fucking terrifying in this show. She like scared the living shit out of me. Her performance is just so like subdued and unsettling. When any character approaches her in the show, you're scared for that character. Eliza Scanlon's good too. Chris Messina is genuinely really great in it. There is a bit of a problem because like I was really gearing up for a 10 here. I really was. There's something in the last like 2 minutes of the show, and now I don't know what to think.
Make or break it.
It was genuinely a make or break moment, and it broke it kind of for me a little bit, but
damn,
I cannot deny that like everything leading up to that was so perfectly handled. So I really can't see it being anything but like an 8 out of 10 right now, just because that ending is a little bit like fucked. So much to say about like mental illness and addiction and all that. It's really like hard hitting stuff. I would highly recommend it, even though that did happen.
Man, what is it with shows and just fumbling the ending? I feel like so many shows just fuck the ending up.
It made
and
me
just
so
ruins
mad.
Yet another theater watch. I saw one of the best movies of all time for its 70th anniversary and its 4K re-release. I saw Seven Samurai.
What a fucking banger.
God, I need
Dude,
to do that.
I strongly believe like there's a reason that this is like Akira Kurosawa's most famous and most like talked about movie. I think it truly is his best. It's always been one of my favorite movies, like period, up until this, but this was probably the best watch I've had of it so far. This is probably my 4th time seeing it. Like the movie looks amazing for coming out in 1954. It's just for being 3.5 hours. Like it is a 3.5 hour movie. There was an intermission, but like apart from that, I did not feel the length at all. It is the quickest 3.5 hours, like in any movie for me.
I can definitely agree though. Like it is so fucking. It's probably one of the best paced films I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
For a 3.5 hour film, it does not
It's
feel
insane for like American audiences now to still like have such a. I mean, because there was like a good crowd for that theater, and I wasn't expecting like I didn't know what to expect. I guess how many people would be going out to spend like almost 4 hours of their day watching Seven Samurai in the theater, and it was like I mean, it's just crazy how it's I don't know. It's just maintained such quality like over the years, and it's just it was already in like my top 5 basically, but this just solidified it as like this is in my top 4 favorite movies. Get so attached to the characters are like some of my favorite characters in any films ever. I mean, if you're going in expecting like a full-on action movie, you'll probably be disappointed because that's actually a pretty small part of the movie. The action's not really what it's about.
The action scenes are fucking sick though.
Oh, they're amazing.
They're sick.
Yeah, it's just so well choreographed, so well acted, so well shot. I mean, it's just the movie looks amazing. The characters are some of the best I've seen in any movie ever. Like 7+ characters, and they're all so well defined and so likable and so different, and like you spend so much time with them to where you do genuinely get so attached to them. It just holds the weight for what comes later in the film, and it's just I just love it. I love it so much. Obviously a 5 out of 5. Still my favorite Kurosawa, and I've seen like half of his movies, and he has a fucking lot of movies, so I need to watch even more. God, it's my favorite.
Gotta get around to it.
Dude, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I really need to rewatch it. I've only seen it the one time, but I did see it. Well, I didn't quite see it in the cinema, but like my college was doing a screening of it, so me and my 3 friends like went to it, and we were like the only people there. But they basically projected a DVD copy of it onto the like big projector screen they had. It was still fucking great though. It was still, even though it was just a fucking DVD. Like when we came in, we saw like the DVD menu, and we're like, oh, okay.
Huh. This is what it is.
Seeing like DVD menus is such like a throw off now. I feel like
when you expect it to be like an actual fucking like DCP of it, like it's just like, oh, okay.
we're projecting the DVD on the wall. No, but this is like, it's a movie so good that no matter how you watch it, you just can't help but think it's
so engrossing.
It is still so good. Yeah, no matter how you watch it.
Do we have any mini topics?
I suppose I have a small one.
Some little ones.
I ain't got shit. We talk about Joe Biden.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Politics. Yeah.
We've never had a political segment, I don't think, like ever.
No, never, and probably for good reason. But I mean, yeah, Joe Biden dropped out and Trump got shot. What else is new?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy ass shit.
Tenacious D broke up.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Trump.
they stopped their tour. I don't know if they broke up.
I mean,
they
Jack
stopped
seemed
their tour.
pretty upset about that.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking loser! Holy
Honestly,
shit!
that was like, what? Why you get that mad about it?
No one would have known if he hadn't said anything. Like,
Seriously.
fuck off, dude. Like, I've always loved Jack Black, but fuck me, that was so lame. So fucking lame.
It really was.
I guess my one, I don't think either of you have probably seen it, so I won't talk long about it, but new Joker trailer. Yeah,
No,
new
I'm
one
not.
came out today. I can just comment on it briefly. I think it looks better than the first. I'm
Really?
excited for it. They don't really go all in on the musical angle, which I kind of expected, because all fucking musical trailers hide the fact that they're a musical now. It's fucking weird. But there's kind of hints at it. There's like a bit where like Lady Gaga kind of sings to Joker, and it's just like, oh, okay. There's kind of a hint to that, like it might develop from there. But I think visually it looks really good. It feels like Todd Phillips has learned a lot since the first one. And like to be clear, I don't really like the first Joker at all. So saying that I'm kind of excited for this one is kind of big.
What do you mean at all?
It's like a 5-6 out of 10.
The more we bring up the original Joker, the more Keelan seems to like downplay how much he likes it every time we bring it up.
I don't like it that much.
You just
I liked it
more
when
and more every episode.
Dude, to be fair, a
kinda
lot of
do.
people are like that. Like the more they watch it, the less better it gets, which is why I haven't rewatched it.
I've
Because
watched
I
it like
like
7
it.
fucking times and it's still a 10.
Really?
I've seen it 4 times and it went from like a 9 to a 5.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody says it gets worse on rewatch for some reason. So that's why I'm like, I
Except
watched
me.
it 2 times. Yeah, except you.
It's just so surface level, and it can't really escape the fucking Scorsese like
The
fucking
inspirations,
comparisons.
yeah.
Like it's very blatant, and I just Joaquin is great. The score is great. I'll persist in that. But like, if this movie like really steps up its game in terms of like the storytelling and not completely fucking rip off King of Comedy, I think it could be good, and I'm cautiously optimistic for it. And especially if it is a full out musical, fuck yeah. Like that's the shit I want from fucking modern superhero movies. Go all the fuck out.
I'm not
Please,
sure
for
if
fuck's
it's
sake.
what I want for this one. I don't know if I want like a full musical.
That's what I want. That's what I fucking want, man. That'll get me back into superhero movies. That will cure superhero fatigue. According to the subtitles at the start as well, Harvey Dent is going to be in it. Yay!
What?
Holy shit. Oh no.
That's
huge.
That is huge. Bring back Aaron Eckhart, man.
He doesn't show up in the trailer, but like the subtitles said, like Harvey Dent is just like talking about Joker, and it's just like, oh okay,
I
cool.
hope Harvey Dent is played by Steve Coogan. That'd be great.
That'd be sick.
That actually would be kind of funny.
Look at me.
My little topic. Well, first, I just want to say, I mean, it feels like a lot of, this is always happening. Celebrities are always passing away. But I mean, I just had to rest in peace to Shelley Duvall. That was devastating, honestly, a little bit for me. I was not expecting that. And that was like shortly after her birthday. Like, I remember it was like the same week of her birthday,
I saw
basically.
the Oscars like posted about her like a week before she died or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. She had like her birthday, and like within that same week or towards the end of the week, it's like,
Well, at least she had
her
her birthday before she died.
There's like this Shelley Duvall fan account on Twitter, and they're actually really good friends with Shelley in real life, talking about like how they spent her birthday with her, and they're just like sharing a cigarette together, and it sounds like, oh, she seems like a sweet woman.
Yeah, it's just really sad. I mean, because all the videos that you see about her, like, she does seem like such a sweet, down-to-earth person, and like, you know, all the stuff I'm sure she went through, like, sure, it wasn't easy. I mean, it kind of, that role did kind of like ruin her life, not even just because like she was put through a lot, which I'm sure she was,
really.
But yeah, exactly. I don't think and she even admits that, like,
she said she loved working with Kubrick.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things. It's like one of those like, you know, dark mystery rumors of like you know, when people talk about how Heath Ledger went crazy because of Joker, like that's not the case at all from anybody that worked on the movie. I don't know if it was like the backlash or like people thought her performance was terrible. I don't know.
Which is fucking stupid. She's fucking
it is
amazing
stupid.
in The Shining.
I don't know. Either way, yeah, just had to say rest in peace to a horror icon, honestly. Like, just because of The Shining, like, she's like, when I think of like horror actresses, then I think of her.
She is one of the big ones.
I really need to see the stuff she's done with Robert Altman. I've only seen The Shining, and she's kind of a big part of Punch Drunk Love in a way, because she sings the "He Needs Me" song from Popeye, and he used it because fucking PTA is a huge fucking Altman fan.
Yeah, I really got to see more of her as well. We all like Sam Raimi on this podcast, and Sam Raimi is he's set to direct his first horror film in over 15 years since Drag Me to Hell. It's a new film titled Send Help, and it'll be a horror thriller set on a remote island.
We know it's Sam Raimi. It's never that simple.
No. It's gonna go batshit crazy.
Yeah,
for sure.
We've been like rewatching the Spider-Man trilogy recently, and it's, oh my god, fuck. The third one is incredible. Like, dude, that fight between Harry and like Peter at the start, holy shit, that is like
it's so sick.
one of the most hype fucking fights I've ever seen in my life. He just
great.
gets ragdolled everywhere and thrown into a fucking brick wall. Like, give me more of that.
It goes hard.
I'll save more of it from the Spider-Man discussion, but like literally the only bad thing
We've
about
had a
that movie is
Spider-Man episode 5.
Oh yeah, we did do that. Anyway, look forward to that. The third one is really, I don't even know if it's worth mentioning. I don't even know why I put it in there.
Well, I gotta know.
Well, it's just, I don't know. It's a weird thing I never would have thought would have happened. But I mean, like Neon, the film company, Neon, they're getting Stuckmanized because Chris Stuckmann's YouTube reviewer, his directorial debut is being taken by Neon, which is kind of crazy.
I didn't know that.
It's such a weird, like, I mean, it's kind of unprecedented, right? Like that somebody can come from YouTube. All of us, he's just a guy that does like what everyone, like what all we do, and he was able to, I guess, I mean, his dream was always to be a director, and now he's like got a film with Neon.
Hasn't he been working on that movie though for like fucking 5?
Oh yeah,
6 years or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be very good, honestly.
No, I don't think it's gonna be great, but it'll be interesting to see.
I think Chris Stuckmann's, he's like a nice guy, but I don't think he's very creative.
It premiered at Fantasia the other day, and the reactions from it have been mostly positive. So
really?
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Well,
I hope it's
I'll
good.
see it too, but
I have been looking forward to it because I think it's interesting. I like when YouTubers make good movies, but like fucking, and it's really fucking cool that it got picked up by Neon, and fucking Mike Flanagan's producing it as well.
Yeah,
that is pretty crazy too. Yeah. No, I think it's just cool. I guess
pretty great for him.
It's like a dream come true. I'm sure it's what he's always wanted to do. So as long as this movie is better than any of his short films, because I watched his short films and they are atrocious. If you like, they are actually really bad.
Notes from Melanie, is that what it's called?
Notes from Melanie is like, it's not terrible. That one's like, it's just kind of cringe. That one's just kind of cringy. But he has this like,
the Drive movie.
The fucking his movie called it's a movie called Julia. I don't even remember why it's called Julia, and it's the worst shit I've ever seen. Like, it's like I could have made it. It's pure cringe.
Yeah, his short films are not good.
Yeah, they're not good.
I hate when he acts.
Oh, it's he should. I hope he doesn't like. I really hope he doesn't turn into one of those guys that has to put himself like a cameo. He wants to be like Shyamalan, even as a cameo. Like, don't put yourself anywhere. You're not an actor. I don't even watch his YouTube channel anymore. I used to like it when I first got into movies, and now it's like I just don't care anymore.
I just don't care that much about movie reviews anymore on YouTube. So I mean, that's kind of why I stopped doing it, because I'm like, if I don't care. No one's gonna care.
Yeah. Anyway, time to review some movies.
Yeah.
As you heard earlier, I did get married, so I ended up picking
holy shit
wedding films as the topic, and I asked these two to pick their ones as well. So I picked Rachel Getting Married from 2008, Keelan picked The Philadelphia Story from 1940, and Quinn picked Wedding Crashes from 2005. And
fuck yeah,
we could go in order of release if you want.
The gap between Philadelphia Story and Wedding Crashes
is 65 years.
It's crazy.
Will I introduce it?
Yes,
since
you
I picked
will.
it?
Is that what?
Yes,
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I picked The Philadelphia Story. Movie from the 1940s, directed by Jim Cooker. Has fucking three of the biggest names in Hollywood at the time: Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, James Stewart. I watched this like last year sometime, and I really fucking liked it, and I've been feeling a rewatch. And you know, when Liam suggested wedding movies, that this is pretty much the only wedding movie I could think of beside Wedding Crashers. But it's basically about like this rich woman, and she's getting married to this like fucking what is he? He does something. He's a big guy.
He's a guy.
He does something.
He's a dude. Her ex-husband and a tabloid reporter like fucking enter back into the scene, and it's kind of like a love triangle thing kind of thingy. First and foremost, it is a comedy. Story doesn't really matter much, even though I do think the central romance is engaging.
Yeah.
I do love the chemistry between all three of them. Like that is the thing that fucking like carries this movie. The chemistry between Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, and Jimmy Stewart, it's fucking unmatched. And like with three such charismatic actors, it's hard not to like be engaged with it, I think.
Me and Julia were watching it together. We were kind of struggling to find that much enjoyment out of it up until like maybe 30-40 minutes into it, I think, because it was just kind of like going through the motions of everything, and it was like little jokes were being made and stuff. They weren't really hitting that much for me or anything.
Yeah, once all the characters like get together, which I think happens a little later on, that's when it really starts getting good for me. At first I was like, the opening scene threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
I'm like,
holy
what
shit.
is happening? What is happening?
That was so strange.
With Cary Grant, I was like, is this actually happening? He grabs her by her, he does the iron claw on her.
Remember when
face
Mac
and
did
just
that to D in Always Sunny?
The 40s were fucking wild. Come on.
Especially that weird, creepy, like, dad guy that keeps flirting with that woman.
Yeah, with it fucking everyone.
Well, yeah, everyone.
Yeah, no holds barred. You can just do whatever.
And they just speak so freely about, like, every emotion that, like, a woman has or whatever. Like, there's two scenes in a row where, like, Katharine Hepburn's just being fucking roasted.
Yeah, and I, like, look, this movie is very fucking dated. I enjoy it, like, more in a comedic aspect and for all the acting and all that, but yeah, like, the whole fucking plot of the movie is basically Katharine Hepburn being humbled the whole movie because she's, like, fucking...
She's very egotistical.
She's too confident at the start. She's just she is very egotistical. Like, even from, like, the fucking second scene she's in where she's, like, fucking toying with that, like, fucking creepy old guy where she, like, puts, like, the fucking perfume in the handkerchief and she's, like, waving it around. I found that really funny where he just looks at her and goes, like, oh. Yeah. I thought the kid in this was pretty good, too.
The little girl. Yeah.
She had her moments.
She had some banger fucking lines. I liked the dynamic between her and her mother. Don't say sock. Fucking strike is already a bad enough word.
Oh, yeah.
I like little interactions like that where she's just like, oh yeah, don't fucking curse or whatever. Which, like, whatever fucking counts for a curse word back then. Whatever.
I love how many times you're saying "fuck" in this sentence.
If I say, what's the Limp Bizkit line? Whatever.
If I say fuck 2 more times, I'll be 46 fucks on this fucked up rhyme. Yeah, banger.
But I also really enjoyed how the film was shot. I think it's a really good looking film.
It is framed very well, yeah.
Yeah. It's framed really well. I love the 4:3 aspect ratio, and it's just always a pleasure to watch. Like, especially when it gets to the more extravagant scenes near the end with like the big party and all that, like that's happening in the house. Like, I don't think you ever really see inside the house, but like you see outside. That's all you need, really. The chemistry is really what fucking sells this movie, because there's one scene like fucking halfway through the movie where like Jimmy Stewart comes to fucking Cary Grant's house like drunkenly. That scene is fucking incredible.
Yeah, dude. I love the way that James Stewart talks. CK Dexter Haven.
You just will not stop saying it though. You're like all the way up to the door. CK Dexter Haven, will you open the door?
Fucking love shit like that, and his fucking voice. Oh, I love Jimmy Stewart so much. I love him so much, and I really like. It's not my favorite performance of his. I've only seen like 3 or 4 movies, but like he is still really fucking funny in this movie, and like that whole scene like between them two is just. It's just fucking amazing. Like he's just like, oh, may I borrow a drink?
Doing a very good job of playing someone who's drunk, I think.
On the hiccups too.
He's such a good drunk actor.
I was having a bit of a problem with Katharine Hepburn's voice, obviously, because like she's very like Hollywoody.
A lot of the actors in the 40s, just for some reason, they just talked a certain way. But like, you know what I mean?
Her
like,
specifically, like I don't think I've heard like it quite like that before. It's just so amplified.
True.
I think she just spoke like that because like I think I said this during the Scorsese episode, but Katharine Hepburn Katharine Hepburn, played by Kate Blanchett, is in The Aviator, and she fucking talks exactly like her, and it's just like, oh, I guess she just kind of sounded like that. And it kind of helped that I watched the Philadelphia Story like before I saw The Aviator, and I was just like, oh, that's a really fucking good impression. But yeah, her voice, I can see it like grating on other people, but I think it's pleasant.
My favorite was Cary Grant, though.
I can't pick between my 2 boys. Well, my 2 boys. This is the only fucking Cary Grant film I've seen. But like,
is this only
really?
What?
Yeah, no,
Dude,
I haven't
you gotta
seen
watch North by Northwest.
I've seen North by
my
Northwest,
favorite.
and that's it.
I really need to brush up on like a lot of like movies from this era, but like this, I really think to me this is a really special one. I find it like really funny and engaging, like especially in like the last, like from that scene that we're talking about onwards, I think it's just like really fucking engaging with like the stuff between Jimmy Stewart and Katharine Hepburn, and like leading up to like the wedding. I think it's just really fucking engaging, and I like all the character stuff, and yeah.
I think it became a lot more engaging in the later half because the writing really picks up a lot more, I think.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of emphasis on like more of the side characters in the first half, which I think is probably my only issue with this film, because I do like the side characters. I do like that photographer where she's like, oh yeah, you're the only, my camera was the only camera you didn't smash. You threw it in the ocean. And like the mother and like the fucking little kid and all that. I think there's like more of an emphasis in the first half than the second half on them. And then in the fucking second half, it does really become the fucking Hepburn Grant Stewart show.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And that's when it gets really good for me, because leading up to that, I just wasn't fully following, wasn't fully invested, just didn't really know where it was going. And then, but like I said, once it focuses on these 3, it's just like, that's all I needed, to be honest, for this story, was just these 3 just being who they are, because they're all great. Another cool thing is like Cary Grant and James Stewart, they were like some of the 2 biggest names like of that era, basically, and they were in a ton of Hitchcock movies like on their own, and I like both of them a lot. And like I think this is the only movie that they're both in together. I tried looking it up, and I think this might be the only one. Don't quote me, but that's just kind of another cool thing.
Do you mind if we get into spoilers, because some things I have to say would probably be spoiling stuff.
Oh, of course.
Spoilers for the Philadelphia Story.
Ooh, I felt really bad for her husband that she was going to marry. Like, what did he do wrong?
Fuck him.
He didn't do anything. He was just being a nice guy the whole movie.
You know what his problem is? You know what I think his problem is, like, from a plot standpoint? He isn't Cary Grant or Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, he's just like
John Howard.
John Howard. Who the fuck is he?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of like a big like fucking blind spot for the movie, because he isn't really touched upon at all. Like you get like a couple of scenes with him. Like I think he becomes more to the forefront like near the end of the movie, where he's like the marriage is being called off on the spot. And it's just like, oh, I mean, I guess I can see how you can feel bad for the guy, but like, at the end of the day, like this. Like I was saying, this is like a pure comedy movie to me, and I did really gel with the humor. I really like the fucking fast talking and like the And quick-witted jokes. I really like all that shit.
The way they go back and forth with each other is really just so good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love fast-paced movies like that.
We need more movies like that nowadays where it's like dialogue back and forth, like to that excess, but like it works.
Screwball comedies. I need to see more of them.
I was about to say, I don't think you even get those anymore, screwball comedies.
I'm sure it can make a comeback.
Just remake the
Hopefully.
Philadelphia story. No, just don't do that. Don't.
Do
Who
not
would you
do that.
even cast?
Tom Holland,
Who would you
Timothy Chalamet.
That's always our go-to.
Zendaya.
Yeah. That's always our
Wait,
go-to.
Challengers.
I said it before Keelan did, right?
Challengers is the new Philadelphia story.
Yes.
That's what Philadelphia story needed, was just constant like fucking
Techno
rave
and tennis.
club music. Yeah, just throw that in the background of Philadelphia story.
I love how many times they say Uncle Willie. Uncle
Yeah.
Willie?
I'll go with you.
And that scene where where Katharine Hepburn just fucking calls him dad for some reason. Just like, oh yeah, hi dad.
That's another thing that was kind of confusing us a little bit, like especially
Yeah.
in the first half. I was like, who are these people and how
There
does
was a
everyone
lot of-
relate to everybody? Because I'm confused.
Exactly. I honestly, this movie was a bit more confusing than I thought it would be, and that it needed to be. Maybe it's just my first time. I didn't know anything about the plot. I went in blind, and so opening up with that, first of all, that weird scene, like we said, and then just going into like we're meeting all these characters and like what's going on. I was having trouble following a lot of what was happening, but I was just like, I'm just gonna along for the ride. I'll try and enjoy the jokes. I don't really know where it's going, so I don't know. That was just another thing for me. Like,
I think it is just something that gets a lot better in the second half.
it does.
Yeah.
I'm sure a rewatch would help too. I'm sure.
But how do we feel about the ending?
The ending was very weird and
It was
very
weird.
jarring.
Because I was like, I thought she was gonna marry fucking James Stewart, and then she marries the Cary Grant again. I was confused, honestly.
I really like the very, very ending.
It's silly.
Because it's set up and payoff. They didn't like pictures being taken of them, and they had a picture of them being taken at the wedding, and Cary Grant's like, what the fuck are you doing, you little fucking bitch?
I'm sure that's exactly what it was saying.
He probably said it in a more gentlemanly way than I did, but
Yeah.
the ending does kind of come out of nowhere. It's just like, what the fuck? I thought you were going to marry Jimmy Stewart. Like, look at
Yeah.
him. He's beautiful.
Right. It just kind of like ends pretty abruptly.
I'm fine with the marriage thing, I guess. It's just like how abruptly it ended. I was like, I
Yeah.
kind of wanted a bit more.
It was very abrupt.
I mean, to be fair, when going into movies from this era, a lot of movies do just end when
Yeah.
the story ends.
That's true.
Like, you don't really get much of an epilogue, which I do appreciate a lot of the time, because a lot of movies nowadays meander after like the plot fucking finishes.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. Like, a lot of older movies just like, okay, that's the story you want to tell. Fuck off. That's
That's
it.
true. And it's already like 2 hours basically, right? Like close to a 2-hour movie. So like you didn't really need much more. I didn't need much more, but
Yeah.
Release
I
the
don't know.
Cooker cut. Man's probably like long fucking dead, but
oh yeah. He'll come back from the grave just to release his cut for you.
just more of Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart and
Yeah.
Katharine Hepburn. That's all I want.
That's the reason to watch it, I think, is that dynamic.
It is.
It's those three are really great
Yeah,
together.
absolutely.
I'd give it a very strong 7 out of 10. I had a good time with it. It was good. I like I said, I think that first half just kind of threw me for a loop, and I was trying to follow it. But once it kind of slowed down a bit, or it got a bit more focused, and I was just enjoying the comedy between those three, it definitely got a lot better. Rewatch would probably help, but yeah, it was a good time for most of it. So a strong 7.
I'm gonna meet you right there. Strong 7 out of 10. It is really good, but yeah, it's just that first half is a bit hard to get into.
Yeah.
But I think on rewatch it could probably go up.
I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think I gave it like a 9 the first time I watched it, but this time I feel more of an 8. I still think it's fucking great. I think it's really good. Like, just watch it for the fucking main 3 performances. A very solid 8. I really do fucking enjoy this movie. But yeah, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right, well, this was Quinn's one.
Yes. We'll move on to another wedding comedy. How many years later? Like 50?
65.
I don't know.
65.
65 years
65
later.
years later, and things haven't changed much in terms of sexual assault.
Yeah. So I picked Wedding Crashers. Came out in 2005, directed by David Dobkin. John and his buddy Jeremy are emotional criminals who know how to use a woman's hopes and dreams for their own carnal gain. Their modus operandi, crashing weddings. Normally they meet guests who want to toast their romantic day with a random hookup, but when John meets Claire, he discovers what true love and heartache feels like. Like, it was just hard thinking of a wedding movie, and this was always one that I've seen, but I never really saw fully.
I had seen this one.
I had never seen it. Do we know if we watched the unrated version or the normal version? Because the unrated one is 2 hours and 7 minutes, and I watched that one.
2 hours and what? How the original is like just short of 2 hours basically. Probably the regular. Honestly, I don't know.
I think mine was just the regular one too. Honestly.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Why is there some cringy sex scenes in the?
I looked up the
unrated?
differences after I watched the movie, and that whole montage of them like crashing weddings and stuff at the start and like fucking women that goes on for like a full 5 minutes longer.
What?
That's like most of the fucking changes in the unrated version.
Wow.
And I was watching it and I was thinking, this is going on so fucking long. Like
Maybe I
we get
did
the
see
It
gist
was
of
already
it,
going on long enough just in the original.
but you get to see more boobies.
Yeah, the mid 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. Nothing's changed, like you said. Well, I mean, this is like of its time, raunchy comedies.
Definitely. time.
Is. Yeah.
This is before Hollywood became woke.
Yes. Well, it's
You
before
couldn't
the
make Wedding Crashers today. I was thinking, like, man, are all these like 2000s comedies just so shit? And I was thinking specifically about Superbad because I really liked that movie, and I rewatched Superbad because of this movie, and I was like, no, Wedding Crashers was just shit.
See, so something good did come out of this movie. It got you to rewatch at least a better movie.
Superbad
And I'll
is-
admit,
Superbad's so good,
Superbad
actually.
is a better movie.
With this movie, like, okay, like the drive of it is Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. Like they were
Yeah.
big stars at the time. Obviously, it's going to get people into fucking cinemas and whatever, and it was a huge success. Like it was like a big fucking cultural movie at the time. I've never heard it like referenced or anything other than like the concept of wedding crashing, but
Yeah.
obviously it didn't invent it. I don't know. Like I guess my sense of humor is just kind of weird, but like and not aligning with like general people around that time. But like I didn't really find anything in the movie at all funny. I thought Christopher Walken was funny,
Yeah.
but I was laughing at his performance more than I was laughing at the jokes that he was saying
mean,
because it's
yeah.
Christopher Walken, and I really like
Christopher
Christopher Walken. Everyone loves Christopher Walken, and I thought
Yeah.
he was really good in the movie.
I can't decide who's a worse character out of the main two.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, it might be.
I
Owen
think
Wilson.
Vince Vaughn is the.
I think it's Owen Wilson. Yeah, he
think
lets
when we
his
get-
friend be sexually assaulted for the entire fucking movie and doesn't say a word about it. And he's
Okay,
just,
I was going to say we'll get into it when we get to
Sorry.
spoilers, but yeah, basically.
that's fine. It's Wedding Crashers. I don't think. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we'll spoil it eventually, but well, that's the thing. That's supposed to, I think, be the arc of the movie is the fact that you have these two shitheads, these like two guys that are just using women, and then it's cliche as hell.
Yeah.
It's the most like generic cliche romantic comedy plot. Player, I hesitate to even call them players, but apparently they're supposed to be like. Get like humbled and find out what true love is and all that shit.
It is very rote and generic for like
Yeah.
a 2000s comedy. Like, you know exactly. Well, to be fair, I didn't know exactly where it was going because the last act of the movie is fucking started by a decision that I was just in awe of. It was so fucking poorly handled. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, seriously?
I'm gonna need. I probably. I'm gonna. When we get into spoilers, I'll need refreshed because I think I watched this. I didn't know when we were recording the episode, so I actually watched this 4 weeks ago while we were in Seattle. And I think that's another reason why I probably had more fun with this than you guys did, is because my circumstances and my situation in which I watch a movie can greatly affect it to where, like, it was just me and Kath were just chilling in the Airbnb. We were just having, like, just a chill night, movie night. But if I watched it by myself, like here at my apartment, nothing else going on, knows I might not like it quite as much.
it,
So
like alone, and why is it 2 hours?
I know it's a little too
so
long.
long.
Yeah,
Like
it's a little too long.
I watched it with my friends over Discord. Like friend of the podcast, old child support watched it with me, and our other friend. And fucking Owen specifically asked, "Can we put this on ×2 speed?" Like at the fucking hour and 20 mark.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I have an obligation to the podcast, man. We have to sit this out."
Damn. No, it is too long. This could have been like a 90-minute comedy. It didn't have to be a 2-hour comedy. Like it really
No need
didn't.
for it to be 2 hours.
There's no. It thinks it does kind of come off like the movie thinks it's better, more important than it actually is. It doesn't really know what it is. Like it's introducing too many elements, too many characters. It's dwelling too long on shit. Like, yes, I think the jokes for me were like I laughed. I'm sure I laughed more than you guys did. Some of it, but it is hit or miss. Like some of the comedy is hit or miss. And yeah, some of it is dated, even though the dated stuff still didn't bother me. I just kind of like, oh yeah, it's an early 2000s movie. That's just the vibe, I guess.
I don't understand why
but-
fucking grandma went on a random like homophobic rant. It was just really weird
Yeah.
and out of nowhere.
I'm assuming that was just because like
It's
old
just comedies
people are
like
just
that
like
where it's
that.
like they fit things in like that, where it's like that has no place and it's just shitty. Like,
maybe it was because that stepson or the son of that family was like gay, and so it was supposed to like
they're making enough jokes
him.
about that as well. It's
right.
Yeah.
He was the villain in Mall Cop, by the way. I just wanted to point that out.
He was
the villain in
Paul
what?
Blart Mall. I knew I fucking recognized
In Mall
him.
Cop.
Paul Blart Mall Cop, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. No, all these 2000 comedies, they all feel low quality, but for some reason, like kind of enjoyable to me vibe. Like I think Dodgeball came out the year prior to this, which also has Vince Vaughn, and that's also a really dumb comedy, but I have a lot of fun with it.
Dodgeball is better.
It is better. Dodgeball is better.
I love Dodgeball.
And it has a better cast. Well, I think the cast here is good too, but
I haven't seen it in years, but like there are still bits from that movie that I think of, and I'm like, yeah, that's really fucking funny.
Yeah.
And if I rewatched it, I'd probably be thinking the same thing as Wedding Crashers, maybe. But like in my mind, I thought it was pretty solid when I watched it when I was younger. Even like saying about like the dated stuff and like, oh no, we've kind of progressed. Well, we've kind of gotten to the point where it's like not okay to joke about certain things. Going back to Superbad, that holds up so fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
This has no excuse.
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers has no fucking excuse. Superbad it's fucking perfect for today. Like it is, like there's some like edgier jokes, and it's just like, oh yeah, well that's kind of how fucking teenagers would have talked, you know. No one's going to be overly offended by it. But like with Wedding Crashers, a lot of it feels really mean-spirited. And when I start to really dislike comedies, just because like, this is just like, it's punching down, you know? And punching down is like rarely a good thing. And I feel like it did that a lot with like the homophobic stuff and the rape stuff. No.
Yeah.
it's just...
Yeah, that's true.
It's a bit fucked in places, honestly.
Yeah. I just think it all comes down to the writing. With comedies, it all comes down to the writing. And I think, the writing of Superbad it is funnier. It's just genuinely better. Like if you're comparing like those eras of comedies. So like, I think the writing was just kind of pretty poor here. Just like it could have been a lot better. I think there's genuinely like a funny concept here. Like this, like the idea of crashing weddings, like that could be a really fun movie, and it does have its fun moments for me, but it definitely could have been a lot better.
Bradley Cooper's really fucking annoying in this.
Oh,
Bradley
Jesus
Cooper?
Christ.
Yeah. I was about to say, he plays like a good asshole though. He plays such a hateable character.
God, it's just
like,
he's
really
I know.
Annoying. He's a complete asshole. He's like, it's been a long time since I've seen a character that hateable in a movie. Like, and I was like, damn, if you can make me hate Bradley Cooper, because I love Bradley Cooper, but if you can make me hate him, like, you did a good job, I guess, if that was your goal.
Yes. I enjoy Rachel McAdams too, to an extent. Like, she's not the best here or anything, but she's enjoyable.
Yeah, but she's always
Rachel
sweet.
McAdams. She's a great actor.
I like when she's like giggling at that other person's wedding. That was kind of funny and cute.
Oh yeah,
that
that was cute.
Yeah. See, it has its little cute, it's sprinkles of cute moments in there, and I think Rachel McAdams definitely helps a lot in that area.
I did laugh
and, like,
a few times.
What jokes?
Good.
Tell me now. What jokes?
I like that one with Randolph. You know, the guy that was like in the house.
The butler. Or whatever he was.
Bradley Cooper's talking to him and just turns the TV off, like when he leaves the room.
I would have broken both of his fucking ankles. I would have snapped his fucking neck.
I can't pinpoint what specific jokes made me laugh, but it was just a lot of little subtle moments. Like Christopher Walken, I probably laughed at a lot of that, like just the way he talked, obviously. It's fucking hilarious. And I also find it funny how, like, I just find it ironic that two actors that people love to impersonate both star in this movie, Owen Wilson and Christopher Walken. So the whole time I'm like, this is like gold.
Gloria, Isla Fisher, she's the worst character. She's awful.
A big problem with this movie and kind of believing what it's going for, the only two people in the movie that Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn don't have chemistry with is their fucking love interests. There's like no fucking...
Maybe they're trying to say something with that. Who knows? Maybe they're trying to like make a statement.
It's Rachel McAdams. What the fuck?
Well, no, I think. Well, that's the thing is that they're trying to. Rachel McAdams is engaged to Bradley Cooper, and so Rachel McAdams doesn't see Owen Wilson as like a love interest at first, but they're still kind of flirting and still kind of like, you know, seeing how things are going there. But it's a gradual thing with them. The relationship with Vince Vaughn and that Gloria chick is just weird. That's like a toxic, sex-driven relationship.
Well,
it's not.
With what you're saying, then it seemed like Owen Wilson wanted to fuck the shit out of Christopher Walken because they had really good chemistry.
That's true. They should have fucked.
Maybe they did. Maybe that should have been the movie. That would have been funnier.
Let's get into spoilers. I'm ready to fucking pop.
Sure.
Oh boy.
All right.
Spoilers for Wedding Crashers.
The 10-minute stretch of rape? What the fuck? When fucking Gloria ties fucking Vince Vaughn to the bed.
No, that was uncomfortable. That was like weird.
What I'm talking about is the start of that scene up until the end of the scene with the gay son.
The whole sequence of Vince Vaughn being tied to the bed. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
That, and all the weird,
Oh
like
my
how the gay
fucking
son
God.
comes in. I know that's my least favorite part of the movie. I hate that. I don't know why it's in there. I think it's just supposed to be funny because then Christopher Walken walks in and then you got the gay son hiding in the closet, literally.
Oh wow.
They thought, I know, no, that's the thing. I don't know what they maybe that situation sounded funny on paper. That's the thing. Maybe like when they wrote this, they thought that'd be a really funny scene, and then it ended up just being hard to watch.
It's dark. He's making promises to fuck him the next day just so he goes away. It's like the man is fucking fighting for his life. Then the next morning, he's talking to Owen Wilson and he's just like, man, I have a lot of trauma from last night. And Owen Wilson's like,
does not give a shit.
Yeah,
he does
does
not
it.
give a single fucking shit.
Not
It's just
one.
like, man, what the fuck is going on? And to add insult to injury, they fucking marry.
But in that scene as well, like they're having the conversation about it, and then he like brings up the rape again, and then he's like, wait, what happened? It's like, fucking listen to your friend.
I
Jesus.
cannot fucking believe that is in a fucking movie. Like, it is so fucking... I can't believe people thought that was funny.
It also really annoys me just like how fast Vince Vaughn speaks sometimes, like when he's trying to do that really funny, like fast talking comedy thing.
That's the screwball comedy we've been wanting coming back.
No,
since
but like
Philadelphia
in
story.
2005 with this script,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what helps this movie a lot for me personally, and it is just a preference thing, is that like it has so many likable faces and personalities to me. Like I love Owen Wilson and like almost everything he's in. I love Vince Vaughn. I love Christopher Walken. Like I love all these actors. Not Bradley Cooper in this. He is a douchebag in this, but no, like these are like actors that like no matter whenever they show up, I'm just like happy to see them, even if their characters are kind of shitty, even if the writing is kind of poor. It's almost like a comfort vibe to me. I don't know why. Like I grew up watching a lot of those 2000s comedies that they were in. I don't know how to describe that. That's a total personal thing, I guess.
In terms of something that I actually enjoyed from this movie, I liked Will Ferrell's cameo a lot. I thought he was like, probably.
I totally forgot he was in
I
this.
thought he was good. I really enjoyed him. Like when he was just like, "Mom, where's the meatloaf?" I love that shit.
no, that line is so like I've heard that line way too many fucking times now. Just Mom, the meatloaf, fuck.
I've never heard it, so I was fine.
I just thought it was funny. Like it gets dark. Yet again, it gets dark, but like funny dark for me, to where like
That is
brought up
like
the whole
genuine funny dark.
Yeah, well,
Like the whole funeral
the
crashers
whole funeral
aspect.
crashing. That to me, that's
Stuff is,
hilarious.
like enjoyable and funny, but it's just like the kind of added thing of him constantly like humping on the women and stuff. It's just like, dude, stop.
I
Just,
know.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
But I mean, that's supposed to like draw the line in terms of like you're supposed to, okay, our characters aren't completely morally deprived. Will Ferrell's gone too far because like even they look at him like that's terrible, like that's fucked up, you know? I mean, crashing funerals, like, but it's a funny idea.
That should have been the movie. Funeral crashers.
Dude, that could be the
sounds like a
sequel.
good fucking
That
That
comedy.
should have been the sequel. Have the sequel be with Will Ferrell and some other guy and be funeral crashers. That would have been funny. It's kind of too late for that. It's a mixed bag. The movie is a mixed bag for me. Like I have fun with it. I clearly more fun than some people, but like I mean it's fine.
We're right here. Come on.
No, I mean, but in general,
to our fucking
in
faces.
general, because like I look on my letterbox and like, damn, like half the people rate it low as well. I don't know. I thought that everyone kind of agreed it was just like an average movie.
I think it's just something
but-
that's been lesser over time, really, because people probably did think
Yeah.
it was like good or average.
I think it made over $500 million like when it came out.
20 years old next year.
That's great. 20th anniversary re-release that shit.
Oh, yeah, get it
theaters.
on Criterion.
4K Criterion release of Wedding Crashers. Come with a 20-minute long extended rape scene. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Give it an artsy spin so that Criterion will get a hold of it.
I did like it when Bradley Cooper football tackled Vince Vaughn. I really like that.
Twice.
Yeah, no, I think that
Yeah.
was like one of my few laughs from the movie. Actually, no, one time I did genuinely laugh when they're going out hunting and fucking Owen Wilson fires the shotgun and he fucking flies back. I thought that was funny.
That's what
When
got
Bradley
ya.
Cooper is about
That's
to
what got
fucking
ya.
shoot him. I like slapstick. What can
Yeah, I was about to say,
it's
that's,
fun.
that's pure slapstick.
It's not even touched upon. He just kind of fucking flies back. Like he literally ragdolls, and it's just like, oh, I guess that happened.
But yeah, scores, I guess. I mean, I'll just say I gave it a 7 out of 10. I know it's not a great movie, but I like that era. As bad as that era can be for comedies, it's kind of like a comfort era in a weird way for me.
Yeah.
For comedies.
I would give it
Yeah.
a 4 out of 10 on rewatch, honestly. Yeah, it just doesn't hold up super well for me, but I mean, it has its moments. I did laugh occasionally, but it's a bit too long and too much rape.
Way too much rape.
Just that one scene. If they could take that damn one scene out of there, I mean, hey, that's at least a refreshing take. Is like, hey, men can be raped too. Here's a social commentary on it.
I don't think that. I don't think
that was
that's
their
what
goal.
the movie was saying.
You don't think that
think
they didn't have that good intentions of like, we need to depict, all sides.
No.
Yeah.
He gets married to his fucking abuser.
I know.
Crazy.
It's fucked up. It's weird. It's got it's weird.
Anyway, I'd also give it a 4 out of 10. Not good, but not the worst 2000s comedy.
It's not
not
the
the
worst.
worst.
There are worse ones.
Take it with a grain of salt. I love Freddy Got Fingered. That's probably my favorite comedy from
Oh
the 2000s.
God.
Why?
I still haven't seen that. I've
It's
seen
so
all
funny.
the clips. I haven't
funny.
seen it though. That movie doesn't have like dated offensive stuff. I'm sure it does.
It does, but it doesn't have fucking Tom Green getting married to his rapist.
That would have been where you draw the line with Freddy Got Fingered. Nope, that's too much.
You want to move on to the third? This was my pick. It was Rachel Getting Married from 2008, directed by Jonathan Demme. A young woman who has been in and out from rehab for the past 10 years returns home for the weekend for her sister's wedding.
The title was so confusing because I thought Rachel was Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, so did I.
that confuses me so bad.
Nothing
Fuck
could have
me.
prepared me for
Yeah.
that.
No.
Jesus Christ. Heavy fucking movie.
Dude, it is.
Heavy
Like,
fucking movie.
wedding? Who cares?
Uh-huh.
Like, the wedding, who gives a shit? Everything else.
Yeah,
oh
I
my
know,
God.
right? The wedding is like the catalyst just to bring her. It's a whole family drama, and that's just like the excuse to bring everyone together. And it's like, yeah, it's probably it's up there with I don't know,
like
not
traumatic at times. Like, it's triggering, genuinely triggering at times. It's all of this stuff like addiction and like just family trauma and all that grief. It's it's all like so poignant.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jonathan Demme could do a movie like this. This is so different from everything else I've seen. Even like a more serious movie he's done, like Philadelphia. Like that movie's about AIDS. Who gives a fuck about AIDS? I want to learn about fucking Anne Hathaway's trauma. Like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Like, it was a heavy fucking watch, but my God.
I love the handheld stuff as well. Like,
I
about to
love
say,
it so
yeah.
much.
it looks so perfect for what it's trying to do, I think.
It's so intimate feeling, and it just works so fucking well with it. And I was thinking while watching the movie, this probably like set the template for like 2010s indie movies, because it feels like fucking ahead of its time. Well, only by a few years, but like it did remind me like of that era of like 2010s. What would you call them? Fucking deadpan kind of movies, more like kind of deeply serious movies. The shooting style helps a lot with that, and like the editing and stuff, because it all feels so natural.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I was watching, like, Anne Hathaway is the main character and like she's a big actress, but I was never taken out of it because she like disappears into that character. It's nothing like what I've seen her do before.
No, I've never
I
seen
think
Anne
she's-
Hathaway like this
she's
at all.
fucking
Genuinely
outstanding.
so amazing in this. Like, fuck. It's probably the best I've seen her. I can say that
Same.
confidently.
I think I'd say that too. Like the amount of depth like she has to put into this one character with like so much fucking it's just crazy. I can't believe like she's fucking amazing in it. Like, what a fucking performance. I think the performances all around were fucking great.
Yeah.
Like
I
fucking
love the dad.
The dad is fucking
Bill
amazing.
Irwin. And he's the voice of Taz in Interstellar. Did you see that?
Little Rachel getting married reunion.
Yeah. This was definitely a roller coaster of emotions too, because like you go through so many highs and so many lows, like in a matter of, throughout the whole movie. Like there's like extended sequences of like just dancing and like music and like people celebrating, and then it can go to like the most like fucking tense shit. Family members arguing and
But
like,
it's
I mean, I
it's
don't
like
get spoilers, but
all these, enjoyable times and festivities are meant to be
Yeah.
happening, but like one person says something wrong and then it'll become like a whole
Exactly.
thing, and it's just so interesting how all of it plays out, and every character is
Yeah.
so fantastic. I absolutely love like the wedding speech scene where we're just going and watching like everybody's wedding speech. It's fucking
Yeah.
beautiful because it's
Yeah.
like we don't like need to know these people in depth or anything, but like it's giving us enough there for us to care about them and like want to get immersed in this whole story and everything. It's incredibly well done.
It really gives like an idea of like the relationships between Sydney and Rachel. I really love this, like that speech that the guy gives about like, meeting him in, was it Jamaica?
yeah.
Like that like you can tell then, like they're very close, and they fucking shared fond memories together or whatever. And I think immediately after that it cuts to fucking Kim's speech, which is like fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's so
Like, it
tough to
started off
watch.
cringeworthy and like
It did.
genuinely uncomfortable, and then it became really sweet,
Yeah.
kind of, and
Yeah, like her heart was in the right place, but like fucking yeah. And a lot stems from that. Like I think a lot of like the emotions going forward stem from her speech.
But I feel like so many people are really not getting this movie though, because I've seen a lot of reviews where it's like people hate Anne Hathaway's character, but I just don't get it. Like, I mean, she's aggressive, sure, but like she has a lot of problems and everything, and like I feel like if you can't understand why she's like a redeemable enough character, you know, you're not really getting the movie, I guess.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I felt more bad for her than anything.
I mean, she is an extremely flawed character, like a really complex character. So I guess it's just,
It didn't try to make it out like the whole movie was about her trauma and her feelings or anything. It like gives enough equal time to everyone to like show their opinion on everything and all that.
It starts to morph into more like family trauma than anything. They all kind of have their own slice of it.
It feels so real, like in all of those conversations.
Yeah, but even just like the little conversations and like when they're trying to plan like where like fucking Kim is sitting at like the wedding and stuff. That feels so natural with how it's handled and how like fucking Bill Irwin's character is just like, oh yeah, we can move grandma over here and get fucking Kim in here.
Yeah.
And that stuff feels so fucking real.
Yeah.
Like I'm in awe of how authentic this fucking movie feels. Like it's really fucking raw, like, and tough to watch a lot of the time.
Yeah. Such mundaneness, like it's so mundane half the time, but it kind of just works. Like if this wasn't handled well, like it could just be like so boring and drag, but like the fact that you do just get a sense of like where all the characters, like who all the characters are, and just like you really feel like you're there with them. It kind of like helps that, and the fact that it is so relatable. Like, I mean, we've all probably been in situations like, not in Anne Hathaway's shoes, I'm sure, but like in like somewhere in a family celebration where shit like this is happening. At least I could feel that. I could totally like made me hate like family get-togethers, honestly, like, or made me remember why I hate a lot of big organized family celebrations. I'm like, God, this is exhausting.
Everyone was like valid in their feelings. I really appreciated that. Like at times with Rachel, I was like, come on, what the fuck are you doing? Like she's been through a lot, but like with like the whole stress of the wedding and all that, and just like, yeah, I can kind of see that. I just thought all that stuff was really well handled, and yeah, the family dynamic is like unbelievably good. It's so believable. Like you fucking believe these people are related, like for sure, you know?
Yeah.
It's fucking
It's so crazy how they like slip into these characters. They do genuinely just feel related when you're watching them. It's weird. Do you think we get in the spoilers? I have some thoughts.
I was about to say that too.
Spoilers for Rachel getting married.
There was like that kind of one first initial scene where they talk about the boy that died, that Anne Hathaway killed.
Yeah.
And like I was just like in so much pain because I was looking at the dad most of the time, and he's just like, God. You just look at him and all his like facial expressions and stuff, and he's like brokenhearted.
I love the way that like information gets revealed in this movie. Like it's not just said out loud like, oh, you were responsible for his death or something like that. It's so subtle, it's so gradual, it's so real. Like you just kind of put the pieces together yourself. And I just really like that in terms of not only like the stuff about Ethan, the son, but just in terms of also like what Anne Hathaway has done or what her character has done in the past. Like they don't just come outright and say it. They kind of like they dance around it, you know, because it is not a fun thing to talk about for them either. So I just really like that, like the way the writing and dialogue was handled. It was just really smart.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's some tension going on for a while, but then you don't really find out why exactly that is for a bit, and then it's like, oh shit, okay. Fuck.
It was heartbreaking.
This movie made me cry a couple of times. The scene that fucking started it was the dishwasher scene.
Oh,
but that was so sweet.
It was so much fun to watch. Like the relationship between the dad and Sydney. It was like the banter between them was really fun, and I was really enjoying it. But then that like fucking gut punch of like Ethan's plate. My God, that's just fucking. That was so fucking heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah,
like. It's not the only time I cried in the movie, but it was just like, oh fucking hell. Like it's I mean, obviously their fucking son died, but like it's just so much. Like I can't even imagine what they would have been through like at that stage, because it was like what, fucking 20 years ago at that stage. Yeah, Anne Hathaway's character is like what, 30 or so, I'd say. But yeah, it's fucking
it's fantastic drama, like such good drama.
Yeah, and it's just moments like that, like show don't tell, that I love so much. Like, because you could totally miss it. Like if you weren't looking closely, you could just totally miss what basically just happened with that, with the plate scene. But yeah, I just love like the subtleness of a lot of it, the subtlety.
I really love the like crash scene and everything leading up to it.
Yeah, that whole argument between her and her mother was like, that's another point where I teared up.
Yeah.
But like when she starts driving off, I was kind of like, oh, she's gonna crash, whatever. But like the way it's handled, where she's just like driving straight, it's just like it feels so intense.
It feels
that it was just like
so like real, just like she doesn't know what to do. She's just like crying her eyes out and like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just driving. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Another moment that like had me like so like I was in it, like I felt like I was in it, and I got so frustrated. Like I think on behalf of like Anne Hathaway's character, it was like the argument after, it might have been after the dinner scene with all like the toasts and stuff, and then it's just that long like argument that she has with her sister in the kitchen, and then they're just like going back and forth, they're like getting all this shit out, and then the sister just drops the fucking bomb that like she's pregnant, and I was like, why the fuck would you tell that now? Like you just took away everything like off of her.
But I like that Anne Hathaway calls her out on that. She's like,
oh,
you cannot do that.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, you're damn right. Like, you know,
yeah,
that just was a bad time.
But Rosemary DeWitt was great as well. She's really good.
She was fucking incredible.
That guy with the weird name, Mathazikal,
the other AA guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was really that was good.
Yeah, too. I thought he was really good.
A lot of actors I've not seen in much else at all, but that like they really surprised me.
Yeah, I really like that about it. Overall, like it feels so authentic in every way.
And I think if you had if you had a whole ensemble cast of like well-known actors, I think that would take away from it.
Yeah,
honestly, because I would feel like this is a movie, like I'm watching a movie, and then even if Anne Hathaway is there, like I still sometimes forget, like, oh shit, yeah, this is not real, even though it feels so real. So I love it when a movie can do that. It just takes me completely like out of the illusion of like, this is a movie. It was a good surprise. I didn't know what I was getting into at all. And even like I talk about a weird opening, like you see Sebastian Stan at the beginning for like 30 seconds. He's just like tweaking out. And you just see him, like it's the opening shot. I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
He was also apparently at the wedding.
What? Was he?
Yeah, no, I was watching the credits, and like I was just watching all the names go by, and one like Sebastian Stan like appeared at the start because he was like the first person you fucking see in the movie, and then at the end he's credited as a wedding guest. So I guess he just kind of showed up for that. He plays two separate characters in the movie.
Wow.
But also another little thing that kind of annoys me. It's not a criticism with the movie itself, but like, what the fuck is it with 2000s movies insisting that Anne Hathaway is fucking fat? Like, I know. Devil Wears Prada does it.
Yeah. What is
to
up
be
with
fair,
that?
And fucking this does it. It's just like, what the fuck?
Are you even looking at her?
I know, right? Like I didn't get that at all. I didn't understand every time she would say that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I mean, she does say it like about herself sometimes, though. It's just because she's very
It
self-deprecating.
was more of a self-conscious thing.
No, I think that was honestly like there's such a weird thing about the early 2000s and probably the 90s, like to where like that was a thing with all women. Like you could, going back to like girls that thought they were fat back then, they were like skinny. It didn't make any sense.
I mean, yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
I know that, and it pisses me off so fucking much. It's so fucking
At least
horrible.
things have changed, and we know now that she's not fat.
Yeah. Never was.
Never was.
Yeah,
It's just so
exactly.
confusing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I did really love how the character of Rachel was dealt with. The way her thoughts kind of develop over the movie feels really natural, and like her like coming to like being like, oh yeah, this is my sister or whatever near the end. It doesn't feel abrupt, like, because, you know, they are kind of family at the end of the day. Like Quinn was saying earlier, with like the constant like slow drip feed of like information, it makes it feel like it validates her fucking feelings more and more as the movie goes on. Like especially the fucking scene like at the salon where like the guy's like talking to Anne Hathaway and he's like, oh yeah, I read your story about like, when you and your sister were molested as a kid. Like Jesus fucking Christ, that was another point where I was like fucking close to tearing up. Like that was fucking heavy.
It's still another thing where I was like, I can still sympathize with Anne Hathaway, because I'm like, when you're in that headspace, it's like you just do that shit because you don't care anymore and it doesn't matter and you feel like everything's worthless. That's what you're gonna do. You like make up shit. It's natural, but it's just a shame because it like that stuff has an effect on other people clearly, and to see that like right in your face, it's just like, oh god, that would have been a lot.
It's the scene after it where like she's telling like her dad about that story. His performance genuinely made me cry. Like his fucking shock at it. He's just like, why would you say something like that? Oh my god, it was such a fucking brilliant performance. And like especially at that point in the movie, that's the only time where he gets like very emotional. Well, like
he's
emotional, like
such a dad in the movie. Like he's just such a comforting dad. You know, it's really like adorable how he has these moments where he's trying to like resolve conflict or whatever, and he'll just like kind of reach for someone or like go to say something, and then they'll shut him down, and he's like,
Yeah.
But he's just trying to help. He's just so adorable.
I probably would have more to say on a rewatch. Like this is a lot to take.
Same here. It was just a lot. It was like, damn.
I just genuinely really love the characters of Kimmy and Rachel.
Yeah.
Like I felt bad for Kimmy like throughout the movie, like because she's the one you know the most about. Like she's the fucking focal point of the movie. So a lot of the time my sympathies were with her, and I was feeling bad for most of it. And then like as that information is revealed, it's just like, why the fuck would you do that? But then it is understandable, and it
becomes more of like
real.
a sympathy for the whole family. After a while, it's just like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm slapping it with a 10 out of 10. I fucking loved this movie. It was fantastic. The writing was incredible. The best Anne Hathaway performance I've seen. It's the best Jonathan Demme I've seen. Fucking amazing. I love it.
I'm gonna be right there with you. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
I fucking adored it.
Holy
I thought
shit.
it was just perfect.
Wow.
Like it's not my favorite Demi. I still prefer fucking Silence of the Lambs and Stop Making Sense, but it is just an incredible fucking piece of work. It's really great.
I give it a strong 8 out of 10. I feel like the odd man out now.
No.
Fucking
It's a positive score.
You hated
It's
it?
a positive score.
8. No, it is a very
hated it.
positive
You
score.
fucking
8 out
hated
of
it.
10. Strong 8. It could probably go up on a 9 if I ever decided to rewatch it, but like movies like this, they definitely they're so good, but it's very difficult to muster up a rewatch on something like this. Like, it's kind of like it is it's a very draining movie.
Was there anything that didn't like work for you on the first watch or anything?
Sometimes, like, even though I really like when movies are like slice of life, they kind of capture like the mundane moments and kind of like dwell on them, if I'm engaged in it. Maybe some things dragged out just a little bit, like I liked the scene where all of them were toasting and stuff. I expected that scene to end after Anne Hathaway spoke, and then we go on to like 3 or 4 more other people, and I'm like, I don't know, I think mainly it was some of the celebrations and like some of the music and all the dancing at the end. I mean, I liked it, but
I guess it's just that kind of thing where it's, if you're really wrapped up in the movie, then it's like that stuff will probably work, but...
That moment of catharsis at the end did feel earned.
Yeah. And for the most part it did, but there were just I think there were just maybe some scenes where I was like, I would cut this down a little bit. So just really tiny nitpicks, but like overall, I mean, it's just still a damn great movie. Good, very different movies, all very different, highly different movies.
They're all the
like,
same. They're all about weddings.
All right, listener questions.
Just be questioned.
Gosh, question. Yeah, from Kevin at All Right So Reviews. He asked, "What is the best wedding movie, and why is it Sonic 2?"
What?
Is Sonic 2 wedding movie?
I haven't seen Sonic.
There's a very funny wedding scene in Sonic 2. He's spitting. He's spitting.
Is he? Okay, let him
I have
cook.
to watch it.
You don't, but that scene was like one of the more memorable parts of the film.
Well, it depends on your definition of a wedding movie, but I would probably say Melancholia is my favorite. Because that's like half of the fucking movie, basically, is a wedding, kind of. I don't know, a third.
I don't know, I'd say Rachel getting married at this point.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd
that's
probably
up
say
there.
the same.
It's up
I
there.
can't think of another like pure wedding movie.
Yeah.
So.
Do we?
Yeah.
Whose topic is next?
Oh shit, yeah, it's Keelan's.
Me, it's going to be a big one.
Oh boy.
How big?
Pretty big. Pretty big.
Yeah.
Can't tell if he's being serious. You're not.
No, it is quite big.
Okay.
I'm just going to come right out with it. I want to watch Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Wait, you've never seen Twin Peaks?
Nice.
First of all, you've never seen Twin Peaks.
I have seen Twin Peaks. It is my all-time favorite television show.
Oh.
I want to talk about it.
Oh god.
I really want to talk about Twin Peaks,
Oh,
and
man.
we're not talking. We're not. No, calm down. We're not doing the whole show. We're not doing the whole fucking show.
Okay, good.
There's a point in the show where something happens, and I don't feel like I can talk about the show without talking about it. First season, and then season 2 up until episode 9.
Fair.
That's all I want to watch. If we
Fair
need
enough.
a bit of extra
Why not
time,
all of season
we
2?
can. Season 2 is like fucking 23 episodes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's long. I've seen season 1 a long time ago, and I've seen probably up until where you mentioned in season 2. Honestly, it's all a blur. It's all a big blur. But I couldn't get through season 2. It was just dragging too much for me. Maybe I'll like it more this time though.
The middle section of season 2 is rough.
Exactly.
But
I think that's where I stopped.
the point I've recommended until after that episode, it starts to get rough. This first recommendation, then the rest of season 2 and Fire Walk with Me, and then just an episode about The Return, because The Return is like 18 episodes.
Ooh. Yeah, no, that's smart.
yeah.
There's no possible way we could do that all in one. So yeah, that's the only way to do it.
Fair enough.
That'd be the only
There is
way
a
to
lot,
do it.
and like I said, it is my all-time favorite show. So, yeah, I just really want to talk about it. I'm really feeling the rewatch, and yeah, I really want to get back into Twin Peaks. I want to talk about it.
I'm down with it because I mean I've literally been wanting to watch it for years and rewatch it for years
Finally,
now.
I will see Lynch.
Oh yeah, holy shit!
It's a good starting point for Lynch.
I think it is. It's a
very good
fair
for
starting
Lynch.
point. It's a slow burn. Twin Peaks is definitely a slow burn show, but like if you're in it, like it's pretty interesting.
It's not overly slow burn, but
No,
yeah.
I think I'm too stuck on season 2. That was like fucking really slow for me. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get over that for this.
Well, that's the episode, guys.
That's it.
is
So
the
yeah, you
episode.
can find me at Views by Quinn. Check the link tree below. Instagram, Letterboxd, all that stuff.
Changed up my shit, so I'm Liam and Hyde on everything now, pretty much. But find me on Letterboxd and Serialize. That's where I am the most.
And yeah, you can find me on Only Shallow on most things. Yeah, Linktree in
Nice.
bio.
Very nice.
All right, that's about it. So peace out, bitches. Yeah.